Right, it's the end of 2023. We're filming a video on the Princess, and whilst doing that, I thought it'd be cool to do a bit of a roundup, talking about some of the things I've done this year and some of the things I want to do next year. Primary reason most people are here is Johnny Smith's AllegRo. So obviously I have been doing some work on that, not as much as I wanted to do. Of course, I'm always trying to balance this kind of work with the day job, which is making mandrel bends and silencers. Those kinds of, that job pays for being able to do fun stuff with cars, and it's quite a balancing act. But it's getting easier, and I'm learning how to balance that better. So yeah, we have been doing some work on the AllegRo. Obviously this year we've got it on its wheels, the engine's in it, we've reinforced all the bulkhead, and I'm now starting to put in all of the scaffolding tube, you know, or the CDS roll cage tube in for strengthening up the shell where we can do it in a discreet way. So there has been lots of progress on this. You haven't seen all of it yet, you will see it, and there's lots more to do. These kinds of car builds are overwhelming with the amount of work that's involved in them. All the little things that you forget about and all the details. So yeah, like that's something that you're definitely going to see more of next year. But I am happy with the progress we've made ultimately. It's not been as much as I want, but then it probably never would be. So yeah, I'm happy with where we're at with it, and yeah, lots of cool things to come. Same with the Princess. I haven't really got as much done on that this year as what I've wanted, because I've prioritised doing the AllegRo really. We've obviously had a couple of goes at doing wheel arches, and we're in the process of doing another one now, which you might have seen already, and I'm pretty happy with how that's coming out. So yeah, that's kind of got the inspiration back up for next year, and I kind of know what direction we're heading in with it. But I'm at a bit of a dilemma in that a few people have asked in the past, what's with the Classic Mini in the background? And I've actually seen these comments over the last 2 years. What's with the Classic Mini? This is my first car. I've owned this since I was 16. So that's a long time, that's 16 years, coming up to 17 years. And it has been probably neglected for the last 10 years. It hasn't really been on the road. It's had a few MOTs in that time. The nerds can MOT check it and see what it failed on. And yeah, it's at the point where it's been off the road for so long now that I couldn't get it through an MOT without doing some welding and things like that. So I'm kind of at a point where I don't know if I should continue along with the Princess, knowing that that's a long-term project, or get cracking with the Mini and probably get it on the road next year. So I thought I'd kind of try and see what people thought. What do people want to see? I do have some cool things in progress for the Mini. So one thing I've got is I've got a set of specialist components split rims, which I'm super happy with. Yeah, John supplied me with these and they look amazing. Yeah, I'm super happy with them. You know, I did a bit of work for him, he did a bit of work for me, and that's these wheels. And yeah, like having parts has really inspired me to make some progress with this car. This is another car that I don't ever want to be perfect. It never will be. I just want to be able to really use it, because like I say, it's a car that I've owned for like half of the time I've been alive. So it's like part of me really. And I do really want to get it on the road. But one of the other things I've got for this car is I've got a brand new engine. So another job I did for John, as part of that, you know, we kind of did a deal and he's built me an engine. So I always wanted to do a turbo build, and that's what I've got. So John has built me a brand new engine with the correct compression ratio, cam and everything. Rebuilt gearbox. It's going to be on fuel injection. I've made a turbo manifold for it, which I'll show you in a minute. I've got the turbo for it, which I'll show you in a minute. And yeah, like this will probably be like a 170, 180 horsepower engine. And yeah, it's quite hard to sit and look at this and know that I'm not making any progress on the Mini because I want to make progress on the Princess, even though the Princess isn't going to be done for a long, long time. So all of this together kind of brings me to the idea of something that a few people have mentioned is patron. I struggle with the balance of work versus fun stuff, not just because of money. Obviously I do prioritise work because I've got customers that I want to keep happy. The whole idea of the Fabco channel was really, in its initial year, was to promote our products. When I started the Princess project, it's obviously taken on a life of its own. And really, the Princess channel is what it is now. It's, it's not really the Fabco channel anymore. Even more so since I took on Johnny's AllegRo. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a Patreon. I've resisted it for a while for various reasons, but I'm going to start a Patreon because a few people have suggested it. And if you want to chip in, get involved, that'd be great. Obviously it will help. How many people I can get on board with it, I don't know. I feel like if I go down that road, it's obviously going to make it easier to produce videos more regularly, even though we've done a fair few videos this year. We did video on Phil's 992 GT3 equal length long tube headers. That was a pretty good, that was a pretty cool car. I've obviously done a couple of other jobs for Phil this year, the E46 V10. So there have been other videos we filmed that have obviously taken time away from the PrincesS. So I'm thinking that next year, what I'm going to do is all of the classic mini stuff I'm going to put on Patreon only. So if you're interested in following the Classic Mini and what I do with this turbo build, knowing that this is going to be a bit of a quicker project, it needs a few panels that you can buy off the shelf, it needs a paint job, and it needs a load of bolt-on parts then that you can just buy off the shelf. We're not doing any custom, other than like the exhaust and stuff. I've already made the manifold. It doesn't really need anything that's super labor intensive. So I kind of feel like I can get that done in a year, say. I can probably have it on the road next year. I'm going to put all of that stuff exclusively on Patreon. That's the plan. The PrincesS will continue on YouTube, but probably fewer and further between, because really I want to prioritise on getting the AllegRo done. Johnny's AllegRo is obviously, again, why a lot of people are subscribed to this channel, and I want to get it done because I feel like it's an important stepping stone for me in terms of showing people what we can do, what I can do. So yeah, I think the Fabco channel is going to become my channel, really, because that's what it is. It's a channel really for the PrincesS and the AllegRo, and I'm going to put all the mini stuff on Patreon. I think that's the best way of doing it, because it gives people an incentive to go to the Patreon, and yeah, I feel like I can move that on quite quickly, which is what people generally want to see. The PrincesS will be on the channel anyway. I'm not going to take that away from people that just want to watch it for free. You can still watch me, but yeah, it's going to be, I don't know how frequently I can do those videos. I'd say it all depends on how many people want to watch the mini stuff and how many people subscribe to the Patreon. I'm not kind of, begging for patrons or whatever. It's just, I feel like that's maybe the easiest way of doing it, to give people something rather than just saying, 24 hours early access. It's maybe not enough. So I feel like maybe putting all my mini stuff on Patreon exclusively. Might put the odd trailer out on YouTube for it, to show that it's on there. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I should do something differently. Maybe you think I should put the PrincesS on Patreon and just do the mini stuff on YouTube. I don't know. But yeah, I've got some really cool parts for it. They're sitting here, and I kind of, it's either put it on the back burner for another year or get myself some extra incentive to do it. So if people want to see me, get that thing on the road and get it going again, then that's what I'll do. Right, so there's the manifold that I made nearly 2 years ago now, before I had the engine. Garrett GTC 14200 or 15200, I can't remember exactly what it's called. But yeah, that should give me enough power. If not, the manifold is interchangeable, so I can put a bigger turbo on if I need. But yeah, it's going to be fuel injected using the full specialist components, ECU, etc. I say it's full specialist components engine, so it's going to take the power. Mods wise to the car, I don't actually want to do a whole lot. I'm sure it'll escalate a little, but I want to keep it relatively as it is. Obviously it's going to need slightly improved braking power, but in terms of like mechanicals, it doesn't really need a whole lot, just refreshing. So that's my plan with it. It's mainly going to be bodywork, sills, the odd panel. I've got to put a boot floor in it because of a boot floor mishap. But yeah, other than that, it's not actually a whole lot of work to kind of get this on the road, which is why I kind of think that that's probably the best thing to do in terms of like getting another usable car. Because I do also have another car that I bought as a bit of a project last year, which I haven't really shown anyone yet, and that's a Honda Prelude, a 3rd gen with the 4-wheel steering. And that needs a little bit of body work as well. So that's something that I also might introduce to the Patreon page as well, is showing some videos on that. But yeah, that's my plan with this. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions of what you think I should do, or if you think that's a good idea, you'll want to watch it, yeah, let me know.